You've been able to ignite memories with this deck by force pitching Cryptic and leaving only Serum. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think memories is great right now. But I do know Caleb likes it. So maybe it is. Don't you blame us. Yeah, it was my fault, for sure. Ooh, Flagstone's Giver. Interesting. Probably a Heliod deck of some kind. I'm just going to cycle this for 0. That is what I wanted to draw. Wow. We are going to make a lot of mana this game. I guess they could have Plains plus Skyclave. We do just have a second Blood Sun. Is ticking up a Planeswalker advancing the game? Yes, but the thing is Teferi makes you draw a card. And so, unless you have 14 mana, you're just going to die when you draw. I heard Athena shake. It is red-white. I'm going to go and path a Giver, the correct Giver. So they don't get the double untapped Giver, of course. Cast Nexus, uptick to Fairy, then cast Nexus in the next upkeep. And then you draw Nexus for turn. And so if you have 7 mana, and you can do that one time, and then you have to cast in your upkeep every single time, otherwise you deck yourself, and then you can't continue to tick up to Fairy. That does work if you can discard the Nexus to hand size too, I guess. But that's not always going to be something you have the luxury of doing. I haven't watched anything live on Twitch in months, but I had to come watch this Lotus deck. Glad that you're into it. This deck is sweet. I'm really happy to be playing it some more today. Interesting. Trying to figure out exactly what they're playing. No, because you can skip a turn in which you tick up to Fairy. If you upkeep cast Nexus, you draw Nexus for your draw step. And then if Nexus is the only card in your deck, you can't take a... If you upkeep Nexus, you draw Nexus for turn. In your next upkeep, you have a 0-card library, and you need to not draw out of a 0-card library, so you have to upkeep it. And then on your draw step, you draw it again. If that... I don't know if I'm not answering your question. Like, maybe you're responding to someone else in chat or something. But I hope that I've been able to answer a question, maybe. I think you will still want to Wildfire Flagstones, even though you don't get the trigger, because it makes another Flagstones you draw not a dead card. Ding, 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 Valakut Awakening. We also have Settle up this turn, which is nice. What if Tron was a control deck? I think it is. Just kidding, unless... It is in some matchups, unironically. Not in tournament play anymore. Discard it to hand size. If you can choose to discard something that isn't the Nexus, you will be asked to. Well, in that case, discarding Nexus does let you keep plussing the Teferi, though. It's going well, Spider. I had a really good time watching you play your... Mono Red Hollow 1 deck last night. This looks really sweet. What was your final record with it?
To the Shark Typhoon.
I was in 6 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Spider's been brewing around with I think we played against Spider in the middle of his like tweaking and tuning, but he's playing a Mono Red Hollow 1 list that's playing Underworld Breach and looks really good. And when I tuned in, he was like 9-1 or something like that. All right, Lotus Field looking good today, so for the first time. Or sorry, Shatter Skull Smashing, looking good. Might as well. Nah. There's no point in just like making them tap the Giver by spending an extra mana. Yeah. Definitely a confusing scenario, the whole Nexus loop thing. But 5-0 into 4-1 into 1-4, so 10-5. Yeah, it does seem like a high, a deck with a decent amount of variance, but very, very cool list. I'm going to cycle my Triome here, and I guess I'll counter draw, but this really is just a Grizzly Bear. Sometimes Grizzly Bear is worth countering. Cycle a Blood Sun. I think we just end the game here. Tuck this. They have no cards in their hand, and we just get to Cryptic whatever they play. I guess we're maybe supposed to hold these Canal for a future Awakening, but I think the game's over also, which is nice. They draw an Eternalize spell, but I think we can Tails End the Eternalize. I was not expecting them to draw Adorned Pouncer. I'm pretty sure we can Tails End Eternalize. Yeah. Another good use for Tails End. But it certainly was not what I was expecting to see. I'm gonna hold this for Awakening. And I'll cycle the Typhoon. Hurts me to say that though. At least we get to make a really big shark. 10-10, 2-turn clock. They're drawing the Luminar Experiment. Oh, they also forgot about Lurrus. They've completely forgotten Lurrus is in their deck. Ah, they drew Bust, but this just loses them the game because they have a 10-10 shark in play. Maybe they actually didn't have a turn to Lurrus. Not sure. Their deck is weird. What is the cat doing in the deck? I guess you put counters on it with your Aspirant. It's also a cat, like Lurrus is a cat. So that's something. Cleansing Wildfire is like pretty good against the cat, the Leanin Arbiter. So let me play some of those. I think I'm going to cut the Forces, the Nexus of Fate, play the second Settle, trim on Tails End, trim on Serum Visions. Maybe I could trim on Shark, keep in like the second Visions. I often trim on Shark when I bring this in. Yeah, Arbiter's also a cat. I mean, we didn't only see cats. They have Giver and Aspirant. But they've got 3 different cats in their deck. Keep. This really is the best Madcap deck, I think, because you can just hardcast this a decent amount of the time. So drawing it is just not that bad. It's not good, but it's I'm not like, we also have Valakut Awakening to put this back. It's, in some decks it feels like drawing this is like, oh, I have to mulligan for sure, but not in this one. Although second drawing Madcap is a bit bad. What a day today's been. I don't think I need to bolt this Pouncer this turn. Kind of just want to Lotus Field next turn. We can still bolt next turn if we need to. Is Tribal Pod Zombies playable? We'll probably try it. I don't know if it's anybody who tells you a card like the new Birthing Pod, or whatever this card is called, like the new artifacts, Tribal Birthing Pod, whatever. Anybody who looks at it and knows for sure that it's playable, or tells you that a card like that is definitely playable, I think is just lying to you, or they're lying to themselves. It's just too early to tell, and I hope that we find out soon, but We don't know yet. Boom. This loses to boom. They can't boom the field. Alright, so I'm not going to play the Madcap into the Judge's Familiar. We can bolt 2 Pouncers, I guess. I played this list in the challenge last weekend and went 0-2 drop. I feel like my luck was maybe due to run poorly. Yeah, I'm just going to bolt the cats. Yeah, like I think it's interesting in goblins. It's interesting in zombies. Like the card will, people will try to play the card. Is the card definitely going to be constructed playable? Nobody knows yet. Nobody knows yet. Yeah, elementals maybe. There's a lot of places it may see play. Are we gonna get mana tithed? Sick. It's awesome. Still 2 for 1. Everybody loves mana tithe. Imagine getting our hardcast Emperion tithed. I can't remember the matchups. I know I didn't. I remember not playing well in either. The first one was 4-color control, actually. And I do remember just not feeling like I played particularly well in either match, though. Do I hold a path here? If we're pathing anything, it's Giver. Oh, yeah, we'd have to have Shocked first. I think I'll just not hold it up. Yeah, with Thunderkin Awakener, that actually is pretty cool. I agree. Yeah. Our round 1 loss was the person who won the tournament. That is true. And cool. Congrats to Luca. Yeah, Talzin is great. Talzin is just a good Magic card. They put the Lurrus into their hand. They remember this time. Alright, I'll path the Giver. Make a 2-2 Shark. Lurrus is definitely a problem, though. Hopefully we can just draw an answer to it here. Nope. Although they are under a lot of pressure, we can hardcast this next turn. Attacking for 10. They can get back a cat. Maybe Lurrus isn't a big deal. How bad do you think it would be to if I replace Snapcaster with Gearhulk to save money? Pretty bad. I would try to find a different card to replace it with. Ooh, they eternalize a Pouncer and put a counter on it. Quaking in my boots. Oh, they put a counter on this. Okay. Oh, because this already trades with the Emperion. Embalm and Lurrus is a Nombo, yeah, clearly. Can't believe my opponent would include both in the deck. I guess no. If they cast Bust, we win, so we don't need to play around Bust. Did I have a one of Tithe in my Jeskai meme deck? No, but there probably should have been. I didn't build it. It was Simon. They can get infinite chump blockers with Lurrus, or a chump blocker every turn. Why wouldn't they want this to be the chump blocker? Because it puts a counter on the Lurrus. Still drawing a lot of lands, but I'd say we're ahead. I think we have another Plains. Yeah, just one more though. And might as well get in with the Shark. I'd say we're streets ahead. In fact, I do. We are streets ahead. I'm saying it. Don't play Mission Briefing. Don't play Torrential Gearhulk. Play like other good modern cards. Play Remand. Play more Valakut Awakening. Play the 4th Shark Typhoon. Play like a Narset. Like, Mission Briefing isn't playable. And just because it does something similar to Snapcaster doesn't mean it's a good budget option for Snapcaster. Play like another path. Play another bolt. And if you are looking for good budget Magic content, Emma Parkslow, friend of the channel, is a really good writer for TCG Player. Does a lot of budget content. Always something worth looking into. What else is our opponent playing towards? But we're mostly playing it on power level, not on. Do we keep this a bit slow? I'm gonna keep it. We're mostly playing it on power level, and so replacing it with something that does something similar but is less powerful doesn't make sense to me. You can play Factor Fiction, which is a 15-cent card and is way more powerful than Mission Briefing, Play Factor Fiction, play Narset, play a different card that's actually like playable in Modern instead of like Tails End, which is absolutely not. My viewpoint is the 2-1 is that important. I maybe you're just not hearing what I'm saying, or maybe I'm explaining it poorly, but I'm not like debating if like Mission Briefing is not a playable Modern card. It is not a high enough power level to play in Modern, and Snapcaster is. That's what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to debate if that's true. I'm just kind of claiming that it is. And I don't think that that's a hot take. I don't think that should come as a surprise. That like Snapcaster is a playable card in Modern, and Mission Briefing is not a high enough power level to include in your deck. Yeah, I really want to try to find a Lotus Field, so I'm going to cycle. And so if you are trying to find a budget replacement, awesome. If you're trying to find a budget option for a card, just try to find something else that's good in Modern, and is also like a card advantage engine. Like play a Factor Fiction, play a Narset, play something that is good instead of something that is bad and similar to what you're replacing. Any way to beat Blood Moon? Counter it. Is the main way. One interesting thing about Blood Moon is you can Wildfire to get a basic, and so if they have Blood Moon, you can Wildfire to get an island, and then you can also play a Lotus Field and then gust the Blood Moon, and then you have your Lotus Field come into play without the sacking of lands. But yeah, Blood Moon's good against us. Let's just let this resolve. Like, Blood Sun's going to be like a 4-for-1 if they sack the explosives, so it's like, doing its job right here. What do I think of replacing 2 Salinity Vision? 2 Salinity Visions replacing 2 Steam Vents. I don't think I'm in favor of it. I do see like why you're suggesting that, but I don't think that's something I think is correct. Like, Visions is way worse than Awakening. You can't play. It's also like not good to play infinite spell lands, infinite tap lands. And Visions, like, I just don't think is that good because it doesn't find Blood Sun or Lotus Field. You want to play a single Brazen Borrower? It works really well against Blood Moon. Well, you still have to, like, the thing about Borrower is you still have to have a counterspell for the Blood Moon. So I'm not sure how well it works against it. Moderately well would probably be my guess. They should have sacked before I could have played a Lotus Field. I think that was a mistake by them. They didn't sack the explosives. Playing around Tails End, maybe? Maybe they want this to come into play untapped. Their Field of the Dead is a problem, although they do have 2 same-named Mystic Sanctuaries here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like they should have just cracked it. Like, we could draw Tails End or Lotus Field to really punish this line that they're taking. This resolves. Yeah, I should have drawn Tail's End. Big mistake. They still need one uniquely named land to turn on field, but field is also like pretty beatable here because of Shark Typhoon. Has Teferi ever been a consideration where you don't want Jace? Yeah, actually, I was when I played Blue Moon a little while ago. I was actually playing a Teferi Master of Time over like the second Jace because like Jace is bad when you don't have fetch lands, and so the idea there was like Jace is bad when you have Blood Moon in play, but Teferi is actually pretty good when you have Blood Moon in play. Loots away additional copies of Blood Moon was also kind of nice. And so I don't think it would be crazy to play a Master of Time in this deck, especially because this deck is pretty vulnerable to Mana Screw and Flood, and Teferi just like is pretty good at making sure you have a good balance of lands and spells, of course. But I'm not like super duper down, you know. Interesting idea though. I think I'm just gonna pass, make a Shark end of turn. So I hope you don't need to apologize, and I hope my tone didn't like come across like I was lecturing. I just wanted to, I think, convey my points in a way that was clear. I'm honestly just don't genuinely feel like I'm a very articulate person, so it's maybe what you were feeling. But yeah, I'll try not to just repeat myself over and over again constantly, but I do think that when you're trying to find budget options, it's more important to, I think, try to find, like, for a card like Snapcaster, to find something of a similar power level rather than a similar effect. But and it's very rare for you to try to find a budget option for a similar effect, because if that's the case, it's likely the effect you're trying to replace is incredibly unique and can't be replaced. Like, you know, some combo, it's really hard to find budget options for a combo deck, you know, because combos are generally pretty hard to replace. Okay, so I really want to sacrifice my Valakut here so I can snap it back. I also really like to draw a lightning bolt and point it at my opponent. I think the big question is what makes Snap playable in Modern? Like, Snap is a super efficient 2-for-1. Like, the 2/1 body is worth a card. A lot, like, so often, and like that's why it's good. You know, it's a 2-mana 2/1 that comes, like, a 2-mana 2/1 is a bit over a costed 2-mana 2/1 flash for constructed, but it comes with a spell that is appropriately costed for constructed. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know what I mean? I think we lagged out for a bit there, but I don't think we're actually crashing. I definitely felt some lag. And, you know, I know people, you know, act like the 2/1 body isn't worth a card, but it just is. And Snapcaster has a lot of synergies with Cryptic. That's a really good point. You know, your opponent plays Rest in Peace, you still have a 2-mana 2/1, and then the Rest in Peace just isn't, you know, that good because it doesn't necessarily trade effectively. They can't escape Uro here, necessarily. If their last card is a fetch land, they can, and they still die to the Shark, though, so they'd have to have, like, fetch land into Uro, into Path or something. Satellite Bug, thank you for 2 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate ya. Yeah, it's kind of like, I agree, it's kind of like Bone Crusher Giant. It's maybe a really good comparison. I would play, like, maybe Factor Fiction, you know, instead of Snapcaster or something like that. Like, maybe, like, 2 Snapcaster Mages and, like, the 5th 1-mana removal spell. Or, sorry, 2 Factor Fictions and the 5th 1-mana removal spell. If you don't have Snapcasters, when you have literally every other card. Oh, did not mean to cut. I meant to cut the Settle, not the 4th Cryptic. Got like 2 Gust, no Bolt, 3 Wildfire. Looks pretty good to me. Shadow Skulls felt okay. I'm not sure that it's better than the 3rd Valakut Awakening, though. It maybe isn't. I mean, they did reprint Snapcaster in the Master set, right? I'm not 100% sure that that's true, but I think they did. Kind of did want that 2nd Lotus Field, but I think it was also the card we needed to put back. Yeah, Snapcasters aren't that expensive. I bought a playset earlier this year. I can't remember how much I spent, but I got the original arts for like not that much. Or at least like not that much compared to when I've bought them in the past. I'm gonna Tails in this Misty. Yeah, I didn't think that this would devolve into like, is Snapcaster a good Magic card? I think Bone Crusher is playable in Modern, but it's not like so good that it should just go in every red deck. And I'm not sure exactly where it goes, but I've seen people play with it, and it looks like good enough to on power level to play. Gotta be careful what they say when they're not expensive. Well, I said not expensive compared, and I finished the thought compared to like what I've spent on them in the past. Because I have bought like 3 different sets of Snapcasters in my time for like, I think like $40 each like a long time ago, then like $60 each, and then like the cheapest was most recently. Also, of course, not everything I say is going to be well thought out or even thought out at all. It's just a stream of consciousness, you know? A lot of incomplete thoughts. Yeah, it's really good in the Obosh deck, of course. How did I forget? If they force, we just still have a backup to Teferi now. They do force. Platinum Emperion does not prevent damage, so it doesn't do anything. Platinum Emperion is a really unique line of text. Jace is only 50? Maybe I should buy some Jaces. I don't own any Jaces still. A new Remy is out. I don't think I should watch it on stream, but that's exciting. Ooh, maybe we should hold up Cryptic here. No. It's just, there's no way you're not supposed to jam Teferi into 1 open mana after they've already forced once. Yeah. If you did not have Force in hand, would I still have used Tails in the counter trigger? Yes, because you can't use that mana anyways. Because if you don't Tails in the Lotus Field trigger, you can't Tails in anything else because you sack the 2 lands. Which is why Tails in is so nice in this deck, as opposed to any other 2 mana counter spell. You always get to use it. I'm gonna counter draw. Yeah, you know, somebody wished that Tarmogoyf would be inexpensive in Modern, and the monkey paw curled, and Tarmogoyf is just not that good in Modern anymore. Yeah, I had a friend who bought Future Sight foils, not for $800. They weren't minty condition, but he bought them for many hundreds of dollars. Probably like 400 each. Guess I'll tap the field. Yeah, you can link the Remy song. I love Remy. Like, Esther loves Remy too. Esther, we'll just be hanging out and she'll be like, can we listen to Remy? We're big fans. Yeah. Also, Bob shouldn't Dark Confidant and Tarmogoyf should not be that expensive, and Monkey Paw curls, and they just aren't that good. I know Remy got hit with a copyright on his last song. I hope that this doesn't that does not happen again. I'm gonna snap Cryptic, be a bit more mana efficient than the one from the hand. Happy holidays, Whoop. Yeah, future type foils are still expensive. That's true. That is definitely the case. I think that original art foils often hold their value, especially of iconic cards. But also, I know I am not someone to listen to about finance at all. There are way smarter people and more knowledgeable people than me. Opponent says, cool lol if I draw 1 counter. Okay, this hand is good if we draw any land. That's not Lotus Field. And we're on the draw. I think I would mulligan this on the play, but I think we can keep it on the draw. Imagine if we get our Shatter Skull Thought Seized. That would be awesome. I haven't played against Tron very much lately. We did add the 4th Wildfire to the board, so hopefully that comes up. Jabberwocky is the great one between him and Jund. Let me actually play Flagstones here. This way, if I draw a blue source, I can Tails in next turn and then sack the Lotus Field to the Flagstones next turn, possibly. I don't think the 3 life matters very much. Opponent does not play around Tails End. Untap blue source. So the thing is, like, we've talked about this before, Jabberwocky and Jund. But, like, the cards don't do anything extra in his hands, right? Liliana the cards aren't more powerful because they're in Jabberwocky's sleeves. Jabberwocky is just a master with the cards. And I do believe that if anyone has the time and the dedication and the interest to master a deck, they can. I really do believe that. And so to say Jabberwocky is the only one who can find success with Jund just isn't the case, because Jabberwocky doesn't have some magical power to draw better or play better, you know? He just is, and I think anybody can be as talented with the work. Yeah, just like Fran is the Titan master, but that doesn't mean no one else can be good with Titan. All right, we're gonna have to run pretty well here. I'm gonna play the Blood Sun. Hope my opponent doesn't have a good follow up. They kill a land, but we do get to go to Teferi into untap Lotus Field, which is hexproof. Yeah, it's the same with literally anything, not just in Magic, in life too. Yeah, you can be in the NBA if you just work hard enough. Of course. My opponent didn't tap the coding, which is so weird. Oh, not hexproof because of Sun. Blah. We can't Tails in the activation, though. But you are right. We can Tails in the activation, and then if they still have nothing, we can Nexus of Fate and maybe win the game. But if they have Karn, Ugin, Ulamog, we dead. Wurmcoil is always the one you don't concede to. They also didn't sack their sphere before they cast Wurmcoil. Bloodsun stops Blast Zone and Sanctum of Ugin, and they did just tutor up a Sanctum of Ugin, but it does not stop the parts you want it to. Okay. Active Gamer, thank you for the host. So we can't leave up double Tails End actually, because Lotus Field is the only thing tapping for blue. I think we played Teferi in plus. And we can consider just letting this Teferi die, and then if we can find another Lotus Field, we could just go play this Teferi into a Nexus of Fate and cross our little fingers. We could have also drawn Force of Negation, and we could have like bounced the coding. But yeah, I think we just let the Teferi die, and our goal is to now Tails End the Karn plus, and hope to draw another Lotus Field and get lucky. They're gonna minus Karn. Yeah, our opponent's also just not playing very tight, I suppose. They get Sorcerer's Spyglass. So I guess I'll go counter and bounce Wurmcoil Engine. That was a freebie. You kind of like Teferi Tuck Karn. Yeah, I mean, Teferi just dies, though. And, like, we have, like, if we can draw, like, Force of Negation, it's, like, a pretty big game. Opponent is also just not playing that tight, you know? If they have an Ugin here and we lose, but I guess we don't necessarily lose. No, we can't Nexus. If they -5, can't Nexus. They plus the Ugin. Okay. I gotta pay these actors less. I just gotta pay them less. It's just ridiculous at this point. You gotta if you're one of my paid actors, listen up. You gotta put in more effort than this. I just can't have it look like it's this obvious. Okay, so we get 4 mana in the instep with Teferi, so can't cast the Serum Visions first. You gotta put in more work. Like, the goal is not get done with the match and get your paycheck like this quickly. So cast the Visions. There's a Cleansing Wildfire. I think I want to draw that. Sorry. Plus. Just because our opponent plus the Ugin last turn doesn't mean they're going to do so again, you know? So hopefully they don't have Tron after we wildfired them, and they don't Ugin us. We can Tails in the Karn plus again. What modern deck would Beth Harmon play? Jund. I mean, Beth would probably play like something different every week because that's reality. You know, the best players play different decks at every tournament. Death Shadow. Actually, you're right. Yeah, that's definitely a very Beth Harmon deck. Good answer. My opponent also, I think they just don't realize they can. Yeah, they just don't realize they can kill the Lotus Field. Yeah, my opponent is not playing tight. We would have lost this game to someone playing tight. Spike, I'm considering becoming one of the paid actors. I'll have to get back to you just because I very clearly am paying too much. Well, I mean, I know that she plays aggressively in chess. But I don't think people will be fawning over her genius because she can cast Goblin Guide and turn it sideways. Not that I'm saying control decks aren't hard to play. I feel like she would play like Death Shadow maybe aggressively would be the character. So we do want to ultimate this Teferi. Yeah, let's just go snap, bounce the Karn with Cryptic. Or maybe we bounce Worm Coil and then attack the Karn. Sure. But I want to use mana on my turn because I just get to untap 6, you know. I need to pay more good actors. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm just getting what I'm paying for. Yeah, like she might be like a genius Amulet Titan player. I don't know. This game has been so much more fun because Lattice is banned. Yeah, I think the Lattice ban was interesting. I usually have the different philosophy, I suppose, where I'd rather see like the more playable of the two cards get banned, but I also really like Karn, so I'm a bit biased. I love Karn. All is dust, huh? Maybe I played poorly by bouncing the worm coil the way I did. I was thinking that Tails In could stop most things, though, was my thought process. That was maybe flawed. Still in fine shape. If they realize they can kill Lotus Field, we can Tails In the Karn activation, but I also just don't think we need to like worry about them stone raiding us once. We still have so much mana. Their hand is Ugin, Worm Coil, 3 mystery cards. Yeah, they still just don't know. Yeah. Well, we have 2 Tails In, so we could Tails In this and then the Ugin, but they just still don't know. They gave me Hexproof back? Oh, by killing the Blood Sun? I think I still wanted to get into play because of the Sanctum. Why have I casted the Sun? I mean, my opponent doesn't... You know, my opponent has clearly shown they don't know that this works. And if they do find out it works, we have Tails In to counter it. And they have a Sanctum of Ugin, and I really don't want them to get Ulamog. I'm going to counter draw. We also have like a floating mana and Blood Sun cantrips. Do you think we're holding up? Do they think we're holding up Cryptic to bounce the Sun? I don't think they're thinking that hard about it, if I'm being honest. Remember the game we won last week with a 1/1 Shark and our opponent Ulamogging us, and then we took infinite turns with Nexus with the 1/1 Shark? Ugh, it was so sick. One of the best matches I've ever played, maybe. Tails In plus Isochron Scepter. I think you can Tails In the Scepter trigger. Wow. Yeah, this has been quite the game. I get my opponent not realizing this is how it works. I totally get it. But a lot of lands sacrificed in the line of duty here. I don't think we need to do anything about this. Did I see the reworded Birthing Pod in Kaladeem? Yeah, I think it's a really interesting card. I love when they print a card and it's really interesting, and there's like just the community has such wildly different ideas of if this card is playable or not, and the community has, you know, is really, really torn on it, and you can find basically every opinion on whether or not a card is good, and at the same time the card is interesting. I think that this card really, really does hit that sweet spot of design where everybody is interested by it, everybody disagrees. Love it. And I think the card is very interesting. I think it has potential mostly in goblins in Modern. It can maybe make some new archetypes. No, you should put Tails In under the Scepter? Yeah, but and then you can Tails In the Scepter activation. Probably shouldn't Cryptic this, but I'm kind of eager to get this game over with. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can Cryptic and force our own Cryptic to win the game. Seems good. Seems great. It's definitely a flex. I didn't see the Dwarf Dragon Lord. Sounds cool. Bringing the tails in at the 4th Wildfire. The Narset. I do think the first Gust is better than any number of the 1 mana removal spells. But I guess we have to play one since we have this in the deck now. Bolt is good against Karn. Path answers Wormcoil and Nulamog. Play Path. Two mana 2/1. Other dwarves get +1/+0. Whenever a dwarf I control becomes tapped, create a treasure token. Sacrifice 5 treasures. Search your library for an artifact or dragon. Put that card onto the battlefield. This card is sick. Love it. I love everything about it. Snapkeep. How do you think that match would have been if they blew up field? We could have lost that match or that game like 3 or 4 different ways. We easily would have lost if our opponent had played tighter, if they had, even if they didn't know about the field thing, which they didn't. If they had -5 the Ugin, I think we would have easily lost. Do we think they have Natty Tron? I guess we do think they have Natty Tron. What would I play instead of the 3rd Force? I'm playing 2 in the main and 1 in the side, so I would just play like. There are lots. They did have the Tron. There are lots of options of cards you can play in the sideboard instead, like the 2nd Dispute maybe. All right, Tron again. I think we just need to hold up Tails End this turn. Or make a Shark. Maybe our opponent was playing around Bolt by plussing Ugin. It was still way better for them to minus, even if they were playing around Bolt. Really, no turn taking them off Tron? What do you mean? We wildfired them and they just had Tron anyways. Oh, you're talking about Bloodsun? Bloodsun doesn't stop Tron. It only stops Blast Zone and Uga's Nexus. Yeah, these are mana abilities. Bloodsun's a weird card. Probably just going to game 3 here. I think if we were on the play this hand, we just get to wildfire our flagstones and win. Maybe. I guess they still just have Veil. Alpine Moon does stop Tron, yeah. And Alpine Moon actually was a card I really liked against Tron decks and Valakut decks. And then they printed Blast Zone and Field of the Dead. And so against Tron, like, it's really not very hard for them to find a Blast Zone a lot of the time. And against, and now the Valakut decks just play Field. And so you Alpine Moon one and they just have the other. But there was like a nice window where Alpine Moon was a really good card in Modern, in my opinion. Shapeshifter tribal card. I'm definitely down to keep looking at these spoilers. This hand's close. If we can Serum Visions into like an untapped red source, this hand's pretty good. I'm gonna keep. Absorb Identity. Return target creature to its owner's hand. You may have shapeshifters you control be copies of that creature until end of turn. Interesting. I like the art a lot. Alpine Moon does not only stop one piece of Tron. If you have an Alpine Moon naming a Tron piece, none of their Tron lands tap for extra mana. I remember I was playing Blue-Red Phoenix like a week after, or I guess not even a week after, just like with Alpine Moon in my deck, and I had like a long judge call where they didn't think that's how it should work, but that is how it works. I mean, I would bring in Alpine Moon against Amulet, it's not good against Amulet, but like really often you just had like dead cards in your deck that were like Alpine Moon was better than, and like Alpine Moon, like if they after they play a bounce land, Alpine Moon naming one of the bounce lands is just okay. It's not good, but it's better than like Fatal Push sometimes. You saw Blue-Red Phoenix in the 5 years. Yeah, I'm glad people are... I've been thinking about Phoenix lately, too.
It's me, your friend, Aspiring
There's
Spider.
like mono-red Spider Space deck that could be an Arc-like Phoenix deck, but it's probably not good as one, though. In RG, please spend my money on foil promo Alpine Moons. I promise that's exactly what I'll do. You get an Urza's Tower. This should be their only Tron piece. Yeah, Crumble to Dust is like a bit too slow at 4 mana and a bit too good at 3 mana, in my opinion. It's kind of a bummer. Maybe if they removed Devoid from Crumble to Dust, it would be more balanced. So I don't want to tap out of Cryptic Commands. Oh, I guess I'll just Wildfire. It is a bit awkward if they Karn me here, but we can at least make a 1/1 Shark, attack Karn, be fine. Imagine out-ramping Tron, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also kind of sick about... Oh my gosh. What a draw. Golly. The absolute nuts. Yeah, they multiply. It's actually 0 mana here. I don't know. I'm sick of Devoid too. I don't know. Like, you know, people are playing Force Ceremonious Rejections and all their sideboards to stop the Devoid decks. But it's still just a bit too good, in my opinion. I wish they would, like, maybe, like, nerf it to where instead of being no colors, you choose a color as it enters and it's that color. That could maybe be a way to balance the Devoid mechanic. And I don't know, it is pretty interesting. It adds a lot of play to the game. It's one of the cooler mechanics that they've made, for sure. It's a really, really good one. But I feel like there was a way to make it less overpowered. Well, pretty good value to have the Blood Sun have this in here untapped, draw a card, and eat a Wilt. Pretty good. Wait, this is a joke? Yeah, I'm joking. Sometimes even my jokes are funny, but maybe not this time. Am I joking about Devoid? Yeah, obviously I'm joking. Come on. If double Cryptic up, or just a big old shark. I don't know. I thought it was clearly a joke, but it seems like I went over the head of a few people. As we all know, jokes are way better when they're dryly explained a minute after telling them. Probably just make a 2/2 shark. Or 3/3 shark. Yeah, my humor is definitely pretty dry like that. Yeah, hold up the joke sign. Our 3-0 in this league, and we're 7-1 on the day. It's pretty exciting, and not to brag too much, but the one match we lost, was definitely a punt. Keep this. Could be the mirror, probably Storm though. Definitely keeping a Flagstones. Please don't play a Brawl. I think Storm's not a good matchup. It's not like the worst thing ever, but they've got a lot of game against us. Even worse now that we cut the 3rd and 4th bolt. Newegg will have an RTX. If I 5-0 the league, there'll be a... I don't think I have that kind of power, but I'll try. Why is there no more Retreat Redemption? She was just kind of getting too many, and she had some digestive issues that were largely due to the stream, giving her 2 treats a day every day. So we just took it off. All right, corn chips. Which hat would you like? Got Santa, Shark, and then the Fisher, and then the Big Hat. I think I'm just gonna hold up a Shark here. Shark Hat. Excellent choice. For a turn where we're probably cycling Shark Typhoon. Yeah, it looks like just Blue Moon. Kind of nice to have both basics against Blue Moon. We'd also get the blue one here. I always forget that this hat makes everything orange because the webcam adjusts for all the blue. No, I haven't set it to just one hat a stream. For now. Gotta keep it balanced. For 100,000 channel points, could we give Athena a treat? It's probably fine. I'll think about it. Oh, we have no more basics in our deck. So probably shouldn't path the Shark, huh? I might want to change that deck tech message. Oh, there's Zendikar Rising. Yeah, I need to, it's in my to-do list to go over the plugs, and I've been pretty lazy about it. Let's cast Blood Sun. Don't really mind if this gets countered. Oh, they are F6'd? What the hell is in their hand? Spotty has redeemed Pet Athena again. Alright. Is this Jacob Kaminsky? Oh, Jacob. Kind of looks like it, yeah. Look, she's got her head on a pillow. I didn't even notice, but she's got a little. I put a pillow in her bed because she likes it, but I didn't realize that's why she was out of the bed. Is because her head's on a pillow. So cute. She's so precious. A very good dog. I mean, I'm not even qualified for the Kalandim tournament. I was like, after like round 2 or 3, I was like, I think I was like in second place after round 3 of the Zendikar Rising Championship, and I almost posted a stop the count meme, cited against it. That's a Lotus Field. Can I draw that this turn? Yeah, there's like no way they counter this second Blood Sun, right? Kalandim. This is not a pronunciation stream, never will be. Really hoping for Through the Breach? Yeah, maybe. It could be Through the Breach. See, we find off the vision. Typhoon and Force of Negation. Keep the Force on top. So if we play Teferi, we have Cryptic, but not Cryptic plus Force up. They're not F6. I'm just gonna discard Path. Make a Shark into turn. They have no fetch lands. They've only drawn one. Maybe they have some in their hands. But they just naturally drew all these lands. Although we are shutting off their Fiery Islet. They will EOT Breach and main phase. Maybe. You can just settle the Wreckage, Immercool. You're gonna steal a Shark. You can bounce it. Yeah, I am loosely aware that I'm mispronouncing Kaladim every single time, but I don't care. I'm not, I'm not bothered. I'll just discard the Settle. Settle feels less great after Annihilator 6. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're not definitely through the breach. Although tapping Mountain here, maybe they're just going to bolt the Snapcaster. Sinkhole a Snapcaster? Deal. I'll take 2, put a 3/3 Shark out end of turn. Second Lotus Field would be so nice to find. Awakening is interesting. The problem with Valakut Awakening here is that my hand is so good. I don't really want to get rid of anything. Could just play it as a land. Okay, I'll pass. Ah, finally. If the last card is another counter spell, good for them. You're still winning this game by a lot. They remand their own Jace, sure. We'll just simply go Teferi into Nexus of Fate. Into Nexus of Fate. Guess I was supposed to cast Nexus first, because I could draw. I have a higher chance of drawing it if I do. Pretty good. Pretty good. Wildfire does fix our mana underneath Blood Moon. I think I do want to keep the bolts in. I don't think I want 4 tails in. I think I just want 3. Play the 4th Wildfire. No, let's play actually just play 2 Gusts to get Blood Moon off the board, or maybe just 1. Just 1, yeah. Keep this. I'm just gonna put back the Triome. And I'm actually gonna use the restroom real quick. Be right back. Ancestral Vision. I guess now that I'm not playing Teferi anymore, Vision's actually a problem. We can Tails End Vision though. I'm gonna bottom. Thank you for your patience. I think just like so good to dig for Lotus Field. I know 1/1 Shark has so much more value than a 0/1 though. I'll probably cycle for 0 though. Do I think Celestial Purge has a place in the sideboard? Maybe. It's definitely a card I'm considering. Ever thought about calling this deck Blue Sun? I feel like maybe Jeskai's Sun. Certainly more of a Lotus Field deck than a Blood Sun deck, though. Bottoming the land was kind of intense. Well, I think we're just trying to dig for... we had 2 more lands in our hands. And we were kind of trying to dig for Lotus Field, I think. Oh, opponent says BRB too. That's funny. It's always so crazy how orange the hat makes it. Like, look at this. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I can find something in the settings to stop this. It's not just the webcam. My actual room is getting this orange every time, too. Is that better? That's way worse. Wait. Opponent's playing Blue Moon, I guess. How long have they been gone for? They've been gone for like 3 minutes now, jeez. Okay, they're back. End of turn opt. You'd go with 1/1 Shark? Maybe. This Visions is also a problem. I think I just want to cycle it. Kind of want to find like Tail's End for this. When was the Black Lotus playmat released? It looks like GP Cleveland 2015. And they were a limited release. This one's signed by Chris Rush. My most prized possession, honestly. I'm definitely going to try to Cryptic this Vision. And the Band Rush, yeah. Oh, of the Band Rush, yeah. Looking pretty good, Ancestral Vision. My opponent has a Force of Negation that they could just cast on my Teferi. We have a Blood Moon. Blood Moon would be so good here. Basically just game ending. Okay, so Cleansing Wildfire does allow us to get our basic planes for Teferi. Well, I guess I wasn't supposed to keep the Narset, but we're just gonna shuffle off the Wildfire, I suppose. Although maybe they counter this. We are supposed to still target the Flagstones because Flagstones is still legendary. And maybe I was supposed to play my land.
Your friend Aspiring Spike.
Alright, just go to game 3. Kenny, 3 months in a row, been loving the stream. Thanks, appreciate you. Welcome back. Do you want a third gust or a second gust? I don't know that we need one. It's like Gust is not a permanent answer to Blood Moon. Yeah, I'll cut the third end for the second Gust. I'm going to keep this hand. Confidently, yeah, it's hard to demonstrate that confidence on Magic Online. Even though I am an MTGO user, I don't think I'm that good. Kind of like both of these. Doesn't mean that we're probably just like sacking the Lotus Field fairly, but that's fine. Maybe not, maybe just play Triome into 1/1 Shark, into Narset, play Lotus Field on turn 4. Probably good too. See what we draw. Could draw Blood Sun. Could draw a Tail's End. Could draw Flagstones. Them not having turn 1 vision is also pretty nice. I'm gonna pass against the Tail's End deck. People just aren't used to playing around it yet. Restart the client. Okay, cool. Do I have to do a fresh install or is it back? Or sorry, is it just back if you restart the client, to clarify? Not if you don't have to uninstall and reinstall. Okay, definitely gonna play Flagstones before field. Although we don't have Cryptic Command up, sadly. Just an update, okay. I'll probably wait to do it till after the stream. But boy, do I want that button back. Thank you. It was gone for so long. It's a crazy amount of time. I'm not gonna fight over this. And I probably will trade my Shark for their Snapcaster. Or offer the trade, just leave it back. So right click yield to end of step is something I use all the time, or used all the time, I should say. Been really missing it. It's been gone for like 2 weeks or something crazy like that. Maybe that's not crazy. I think I'll just cycle the Wildfire on their Steam vents. And I'll get a basic Plains with Flagstones to play around Blood Moon a bit. Do you know how much streamers get paid for users with Twitch Turbo? No, I'm just an MTGO user, not a Twitch streamer, so I don't know. We might as well just cast this. Maybe I should target my own Triome and get my basic island out of the deck. Actually. Yeah. I think that's actually good. Weird to like downgrade the Triome into an island. Immediately draw Flagstones. I think the decision still makes sense. Oh, I should have attacked with my 2/2. Thought this was summoning sick for some reason. Just target Lotus Field. Can I take my turn back, please? Alright, let's play Narset with Cryptic up. I'll Cryptic a Cryptic. But I don't think I'll Cryptic like just a 3-mana counterspell. I think the second island over the basic mountain has felt good today. It's hard to find room for a 4th basic. There's just so many utility lands you want to play. If I have Force, I'm pitching Force. If they have a dispute, which they don't. They didn't have a dispute just now, so I kind of doubt they have one in general. But I suppose I'll play around Force of Negation by shocking here, because it hard cast a Force. Make them have 2. Really chew up their hand. They do have 2. They're down to 2 cards though, and they're behind on board and behind on mana, and even on cards now. What does this attack mean? Maybe this attack means they drew a Jace. I don't know why I was up 6th. Maybe this attack means they drew a Jace, or just like a Planeswalker with 3 loyalty. Because they haven't been like offering that trade, you know? Why not count a charm? You can't force on your own turn. We hard cast the first one. Oh, sorry, the Archmage's charm? I articulated it, but like it's just plays so... It plays right into a 2-mana counterspell that they were leaving up. And I think it ended up being like way better for us, right? We got to Cryptic the Jace. Instead of like maybe getting our Cryptic remanded and then they resolve Jace. How big is this shark? Well, I guess not big enough. Well... Yeah, this plays like too much into remand to force. I think we just should cycle the Typhoon and kill their Jace, or kill them.
Welcome, Spikelings, to the Shark Typhoon.
Serious business. Thank you for a Twitch Prime subscription. Lots of new subscribers today. Popping off. Yeah, glad you're watching live. Ran into a historic version of this deck. Hell yeah. Yeah, I think this... I know like Holy Diva and other people have been working on this idea in Historic, which is very cool. I think we want to start getting in with the 1/1 Shark. And I'm just going to Gust now. I don't really care if they remand, I'll just Gust again and we can pay for Mana Leak. Ooh, was I supposed to play Triome first? I was. Because now we can't hardcast Force and Snap Gust. It's probably fine though. No, I don't think we want to draw Step Gust the Moon, because I'm just kind of okay if they draw it. Because we're ahead on board. If they just spend their turn Blood Mooning again, we hit them for 4, and they bottom the Blood Moon. So I suppose we hardcast Force, right, on the Charm. They have no cards, so easy call. They're dead if we draw one of our 2 copies of Lightning Bolts. Ding, ding, ding. GG. Blood Moon versus Blood Sun. 4-0 in this league. We're 8-1 on the day. Playing against friend of the channel, Trellon. I saw Trellon was playing a Yorion Tron deck yesterday with like Astral Drift. Looks like Trellon is back to 60 cards. Yep, please sub. That's better, yeah. Not friend of the channel, Jeb Bush. Now he's been, you know, somewhere. This hand's pretty good against Mono Blue and Trellon's Multi 5. Please like. Dude, do you think how much? So if Jeb Bush had a cameo, how much do you think would the appropriate like pricing be on that? I would pay for Jeb Bush to like say please subscribe and like, you know, have that be a subscription sound. I feel like that would be like 100% worth the money. $17? Yeah, probably $17 or something like that if I'm actually gonna bounce a Tron land here after they sack. No, let's just Snap Wildfire. That's way better. There's a $5 for celebrities. Yeah, it's Patreon or not Patreon. Cameo. Like I would pay a lot of money if I was the only one who had it, you know? Like if I was the only one who had the sound. But I guess if he just had a cameo, it would be the value would be diminished. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I could pay Jeb an exposure, I think. From MTGO user Aspiring Spike. Wob gifting Tim subs. Oh man. With this money, I will offer Jeb Bush the deal of a lifetime. The deal of a lifetime. Thanks, man. That's so generous. We've had a crazy day today, popping off. How did game 3 of the Moon game go? We won. Is Trellon streaming? Probably is.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Welcome to Moto, Matt Guy, Eldrake, Coco, Eliza Polagarto, Jewish Pinoy, Rojo Planto, Lala Best Teletubby. That's a good username. Nobody knows I'm a dog. And Sniper 1232. Welcome, guys, to the Shark Typhoon. Yeah, we could maybe do like a collab where I endorse Jeb for president and he says please subscribe dryly into the microphone. Could be a good collab. How do you keep randomly running into all these streamers? I mean, I just play all the time. I'm an MTGO user, and as an MTGO user, I'm pretty likely to run into these people. Finally, Shark Typhoon. I don't know, just like Mono. I feel like I hope Mono Blue Tron should just play 4 Shark Typhoons, right? And I feel like I only ever see them playing like 1 copy. It's their second power plant.
Welcome, Spikeling, to the Shark Typhoon.
Tailsend is interesting.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring.
I think I'll just play this as a land. My hand's certainly powerful here. I'm not going to play around Natty Tron. Even if they have Natty Tron, you know, it's mono blue. They're just like passing the turn, maybe.
What's up? What? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Dude. Okay, I'm not actually going to try to get Jeb, but that's crazy that it's a real thing.
It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
That you can actually pay Jeb to speak. I'm kind of starstruck, honestly. Let's actually bounce the island and draw a card. Yeah. Bounce the island, draw a card, and then we can snap Wildfire. If this is another Shark Typhoon, we can just Tails End the Shark. They still get to draw a card. Ooh. I think I'm going to go for Snap Wildfire, hold up Cryptic this turn over Teferi. Though it is close in my mind. It's also their second power plant that we've wildfired. Pog. Get to sacrifice the Valakut Stoneforge too. Although we already have one in the graveyard, I suppose. If you want to see some Blue Tron in action, Trellon does stream. Maybe streaming right now. If any mods want to make a shout out command for Trellon, I do like. I watch Trellon stream. I do like it. I think it's good. Yeah, let's play Teferi. We have Cryptic up too. Seems good. Is that Holy Diva? No, that's a different person. Trellon, Holy Diva and Trellon are different people. Yeah, I'll counter this. Seems good enough to me. They don't have Tron, so it's not like they can really untap and play like Sundering Titan or Karn. I guess they can play Karn. Karn's not even that good here. Oh, he's not streaming? Bummer. Can we Nexus of Fate with Cryptic up? We can, so I guess we'll do that end of turn. Yeah, I mean, Trellon, like, for a long time, I think, didn't stream with a face cam. So I guess it's possible that he could have been anybody, but it is a face cam, is a he, you know, is someone that we've talked to. For a while was a mystery. MTG's biggest mystery, who is the infamous Trellon? Alright, decides to let the Nexus go, so we have 2 turns here. Gonna get in with the snap. At the very least, that Nexus of Fate was 2 damage, draw a card. Gonna shock for, like, you know, remands. You know, the soft permission. Yeah, I'll just jam it again, I think. This is one way to get around remand. Just take an extra turn. Carnivorous. I'm not familiar with Carnivorous. I didn't know there were two Mono Blue Tron streamers. It's cool though. So this is for the 5-0. We are probably going to get game 1 here, which is exciting. Oh yeah, I know I'm familiar with Shock Troopa, kind of. I guess I more so like know of Shock Troopa. Let's actually go counter bounce Snapcaster, and then we can Snapcaster Valakut's Awakening. Sculpt our hand a bit. Cool. So what these cards? Do I want the first bolt, the first path? Trellon usually plays Karn, which bolt is usually good against. I guess you can bolt a shark too if it's small enough. Oh, Carnivorous is Shark Troopa, I see. pretty dangerous when you have two aliases, you know? Or, you know, just confusing, not dangerous. Path for Worm? I mean, you can still just counter Worm Coil, bounce it, Teferi it, and, like, how many does Mono Blue Tron might not play Worm Coil, and if they do, it maybe is, like, one copy, you know? Hard to know exactly what the best configuration is. This hand slaps. I would like to see Uro banned in Modern Fran. I think that the cards people are annoyed by are Field of the Dead, Uro, Mystic Sanctuary, and Veil of Summer. And I think banning Uro makes Field, Mystic Sanctuary, and Veil of Summer all worse. It's kind of subtle how it makes Veil worse, but all of a sudden, like, control decks have a much smaller incentive to be green. Dude, I love Trellon. Trellon is hip and happening, knows to play Tail's End. Although it is we did get a 2-for-1 there because of Wildfire on the Flagstones, of course. I should probably counter this, but this doesn't affect like a lot of our opponent's deck. But, you know, is so good with our Lotus Field, probably should go. There are 6 unique people on the internet. Yeah, we're all Holy Diva. It's kind of like Spartacus. I am Holy Diva. I'm Holy Diva. They have a power plant in their graveyard, so pretty clearly targeting this one, I think. Might just snap Wildfire. Or we can hold up Tails in for Karn, exactly. We have a Bolt for Karn. We have a Bolt for Karn. Let me actually tap like this. So I can cast Visions off the floating mana if they counter this. And then still have the Steam Vents up to like bolt on their turn. Slight return 5 months. This trick is so cool. How did Sprite Dragon? Sprite Dragon went well yesterday. I think we were like 11-4, 10-5. We 4-1 the first 2 leagues, and the last league didn't go well. But just overall, the deck felt good, and I 5-0'd my like practice league with it the night before. I liked it. I think it's an interesting choice right now. Yeah, 3 mana mana that taps for 3 mana of any color just enters untapped is so good. Really fun to play with. We swapped out 2 bolts for 2 paths. Yes, more changes than that too. I cut the 3rd Valakut Awakening for a Shatter Skull Smashing. Still kind of unsure if that is something I'm going to settle on. And I cut the basic mountain for a 2nd basic island. I cut the 2nd Narset for a Force of Negation in the sideboard. I brought the Settle the Wreckage back to the main deck over the 4th Serum Visions, which is actually a change I'm liking right now, but is maybe something I will flip-flop on a bit. We'll see. Yeah, Bloodsun also stops fetches. Yeah, especially so the no basic mountain makes a lot of sense to me now that we're playing so many Valakut Awakenings and Shatter Skull Smashings. It's gonna get 5/5 Shark and block. Found another power plant, but we have we're gonna be making more mana than our opponent will. All right, I'll just take 3 so I don't tap out of Tail's End, but we can bolt this Shark. Does Bloodsun make the spell bands? Yeah, they enter untapped for no life. I feel like we're playing about as many as we can. It's hard to play more than 3, honestly. But I think it's good to play as many as we are. Y'all see the named area on Caladim, AX Guard. I didn't see that. I also don't know exactly what that means. Ooh. Hopefully Tail's End gets to be good this game. Maybe I'm supposed to float red there and then bolt with Tail's End up? Probably doesn't matter very much. I mean, my opponent's counterspells are very often soft permissions, so I think we are supposed to jam a Teferi. So much mana here. Outtroning the Tron deck. Imagine playing Urza lands when Lotus Field is legal. Can't relate. Oof. Okay. If we bolt, we can't Nexus of Fate on their instep. They repeal their own Shark to cycle. Sure. People keep asking me why I pronounce Caledemon correctly, and I just never learned the correct pronunciation. My public school was underfunded, and they just never taught us how to say it. It's a pretty sad story, honestly. The way I said it, it sounds like something from Skyrim. That part of my public school was not underfunded, thankfully. Get to take an extra turn. Obviously, we have to draw something for that turn to be good, though. That's something. They could have another Tails End, though. That is one thing that that's one reason why Tails End is weak if everybody's playing Tails End. Because you can't Tails End a Tails End. Ding 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 ding. I'm gonna put back one of these two. I'll keep one. Aether Gust, yikes. I will put on just on top though. When you are gone, will anybody remember your story? I wonder if anybody's altered these with like Lin-Manuel Miranda, like a Hamilton Tails End alter. I've never read the flavor text before. It's pretty cool. I'll leave this back to block the Snapcaster we know about. The Snapcaster's not like really doing that much. Like if they Snapcast Thirst for Knowledge, it's like it's draw one, discard one, or discard two unless it's an artifact. Yeah, they don't even cast the Snapcaster. We can Tails in their relic activation, I guess. Yeah, this deck's not that bad on Magic Online, you're right. Yeah, the last card is Snapcaster Mystery card, and we can Tails in the Snapcaster trigger, although maybe we're supposed to do that on their turn. I think this is fine. I don't really think my opponent's last card is that good from like the read I'm getting here. Could be wrong. Oh, yeah. We're going to play the Steam Events. That way we have Cryptic plus Tails In plus Dispute up. I will Tails In Relic being sacked here. Just to stop them from drawing a card. Seems... I'm happy to take any 1-for-1 in this spot. How much are Tails In? Did they rise in price? I bought a playset. Just gonna untap here. Not gonna cycle yet. They're 5 each. That's cool. This is a 7/7 Shark. We're out of Tails Ends, but ends. But we can just make another. We can just make an 8/8 Shark and try to block. One more mana would be kind of nice, but what are you going to do? No! Yeah, we can bounce to a Cryptic. It's just not going to be that big a deal. I guess we counter draw. Because if this resolves, we just get to block. Yeah, duh. We've got 2 cards. Oh, they have a counter spell. They remand targeting Tail's End, but they don't get to draw a card off of remand. They remand again. So I guess counterbounce was good against remand because of that. It's interesting. They're down to just 1 card though. We get to draw. We have way more mana. We're doing good. I guess we Wildfire first. Just see what we draw. How many more islands does Trellon have? That's 5 in play. Out of islands. Out of islands. Keep a Snapcaster. Bounce the Shark. I think I want to snap Awakening here. It is basically a draw 3, which is pretty good in this spot. We could we let our opponent get a draw, but I think this is good. Do I have the second Awakening in the graveyard? I don't. It's so good that this cycles. I'm not sure that this deck would be good if it didn't. It might be fine still, but it's a big deal. This for another Awakening, I think is good at this point in the game. Probably doesn't matter a ton. 5-0, 9-1 on the day. Feeling good about the changes we made to the deck. Okay, specking on this deck out of 10x multiplier. I think, yeah, you're right, but also feels like a little scummy to do. Feels like a little dishonest. Hype up a deck and have like a monetary gain associated with hyping it up. We just pay 6, right? This makes mana. Who Outtron the Tron player? We can even pay for a Dispute if that's their last card. Condescend for 0 to scry 2. Yes, I will pay 0. I almost clicked no on accident. Probably still win if we click no. Alright, I'll play my land. Dude, we paid 6 for a Condescend this turn and 5 for a Teferi. We untap with 10 mana. Slabo seems good, yeah. GG's. Tron's feel kind of silly versus that. That looks busted. Thanks, Trellon. Thanks, buddy. GG's. All right, I've been on a quest to open a full set for a while. For like.